Hello and welcome to another Minecraft mod spotlight. This is the TARDIS mod. So as you can see, I am currently standing inside the TARDIS. So first of all, we've got the console and we've got the time rotor and a nice monitor, which is pretty nice. And decorating this place, you can actually fly the TARDIS. So using all these dials and levers and whatnot, you can fly it, and I shall show you guys that later. But first of all, we're going to come over into this room over here, which I have prepared, and it has a whole lot of recipes, and that I'll show you pretty much later. It's pretty cool. Nice bit of stuff that it adds in. Right, so first of all, we'll just look at some basic recipes. Some of these recipes will explain stuff that I'm going to be mentioning later, so don't worry about that just now. Right, so first of all, we're just going to look at these batteries. So first of all, we've got the basic Artron battery, and that uses 4 chronosteel in the corners of a crafting table, dilacanium around the center, and then a contron crystal right in the center. And that gets you a basic Artron battery right there. And I shall probably... And then advanced Artron battery. That's pretty much a very similar recipe to this, but instead of a contron crystal, you have a basic Artron battery in the middle. So you've got to complete this recipe first to make this recipe. And it's pretty much exactly the same other than contron crystal, basic Artron battery. That gets you the advanced Artron battery. And these batteries are used for the temporal laboratory over here. So temporal laboratory needs to be used pretty much inside the TARDIS first time, which is quite obvious. So to make this, you have 6 iron down the sides, glass at the top, gold in the middle, redstone at the bottom, and that gets you the temporal laboratory, and that's that block over there. And to use it, you put a hopper at the top and a chest down the bottom. Now we're going to have a quick look at this. So the TARDIS landing pad, so that's a block of redstone at the top, chronosteel in the corners, dilacanium on the sides, and then a diamond in the middle, and that gets your TARDIS landing pad, and I'll show you guys that later. Gravity lift, so there is a lift over there which I'll also show you later, and pretty much so that's dilacanium up the top, iron in like a boat shape down the bottom, and then a chronosteel ingot in the middle. That gets you a gravity lift, and then a force field which goes around the gravity lift, just to give it a nice little extra effect. And then so that's a chronosteel in the middle, and then glass surrounding the chronosteel all around. I'll show you guys this later, but we'll just have a look at some of the recipes that you can make using the temporal laboratory. So first of all, we're going to have a quick look. So chronosteel, that's pretty much the majority of well, it's one of the main resources in which you use the majority of the recipes. And to do that, you put you put an iron ingot in the top in the hopper. That goes through the temporal laboratory and comes out in the chest as a chronosteel ingot. And then dilacanium's pretty much exactly the same, but instead of iron, you put gold, and it comes out as dilacanium. Pretty nice. And then the contron crystal, that requires a diamond and an ender pearl. You put that in the hopper, goes through the temporal laboratory, and you get a contron crystal. That'll come out the bottom, and then you can use that for the recipes. And then there's also this very cool temporal dirt, which you can use to pretty much really quickly grow crops. I shall show you it in there. It's over there somewhere, and I'll show you. So you need 64 dirt, 32 bone meal, 1 chronosteel ingot, 1 contron crystal, and then you put that all in the hopper, goes to the temporal laboratory, and comes out with 1 temporal dirt. And now there's a very good reason why this costs and uses a lot of resources. Very good. Right, so just having a quick look at this. So the TARDIS Mod pretty much allows you to use other mods through its internal wiring system through the roundels, and pretty much here you can use AE, anything pretty much like thermal expansion, and using RF, and using little wires on top of the open roundels. You can put you know, RF straight through the TARDIS wiring system, and you can pop it up other places. So say if I was to put the TARDIS in here, that goes inside the AE system. So I've now got a TARDIS in my AE system. I can come over here, and as you can see, it's not actually connected to that whatsoever. And yeah, I can come into here and grab my TARDIS. So pretty much the wiring goes throughout all these roundels in the TARDIS, which is pretty cool. So it's pretty much wireless. It's great. And then I'll quickly come and show you the temporal dirt, which is over here, which is very cool. So I think I've got some seeds. So temporal dirt, so it has to be used inside the TARDIS to use the pretty much the power inside. And as long as you've got a water source near it, if you place seeds on top, so no need to hoe, it grows very, very quickly. A lot quicker than default vanilla. So as you can see, I've grown loads and loads of wheat, because wheat's better than melons, but melons are yeah. Melons. Right, so that is the temporal dirt. Pretty cool. Pretty swag. Pretty swag. Right, and then I'll now just quickly show you the gravity lift. So to use it, we use the force fields that we looked at earlier, and then you can pretty much put, so you put the solid gravity lift at the bottom, and then different levels to change where you know, get off. It's pretty cool. I love it. But yes, but this also brings us to the bottom, which we have the temporal engine, and using this we can change the style of the console. There's so the one that we're using now is the 10th one, which I like the best, but there's also the full TARDIS interior, and I think that looks a bit boring. It's a bit more like the William Hartnell TARDIS, but definitely nowhere near my favourite. It's not as colourful, it's just very bland and boring. And then you've also got pretty much a kind of very similar version to the full TARDIS. It's just pretty much William Hartnell's TARDIS with lots of gaps. And then the 10th-ish one is pretty much the main one with, you know, some colours. Which actually looks the best, I swear. And here we can change the owner of the TARDIS, but since I'm the only one that's actually been on this world, that's just going to say to me. And then if you input your sonic screwdriver into the slot, you can change permissions and whatnot. So yep, pretty basic. Yep, cool. And now we shall go to how to fly the TARDIS. We're just going to quick demonstration. So first, we're just going to change some of the coordinates. So I don't know, change. So using right click, and if you want it to go downwards, then you hold shift and right click. And using those, you can set pretty much the coordinates on the console. And yep, so you got Z, X, and Y, and yep, I'm only going to change X and Z, because Y pretty much changes how far you're going down the axis, and I don't really want to go any lower or higher. So what we're going to do is we're going to come to the the left-hand side of the console. We're going to right-click on the temporal primer. We're going to come around to the back of the console. We're going to right-click on the helmet regulator. We're going to come back to the front of the console, and we're going to press the quantum handbrake. And that allows the TARDIS to take off. It's very loud, but as you can see, they've actually animated the 3D model, and that's pretty cool, pretty original to the TV show. And pretty much using the monitor we can tell whether or not we're landing, and that's pretty cool. And yeah, and once it's we can go outside, hopefully. As you can hear, they've got sounds for the landing and the takeoff, which is pretty cool. So first of all, we can just quickly come and right above the temporal primer is the external scanner. So you right click on that and you can tell whether or not it's pretty much safe to walk out. So I can now walk out of the TARDIS and I am on top of some trees. Very nice. Right, well it seems I haven't moved much. That was where I was before. This is where I am. Yeah. Pretty handy mod. So you can get around the world very, 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 very quickly. Yeah, so we'll be back in a minute just to show you two last things. So as you can see, I've entered a new world, so I'm just going to show you how you can add new rooms to your TARDIS. So pretty much you so right at the start you have a sonic screwdriver, and that is placed in the front of the console, and you pretty much right click and it gets set to you, and then you come around to the back, and what you can do is you can stick it in there and then choose pretty much if you want some corridors, a room, and you can change which kind of room or which kind of corridor you want. So yeah, pretty cool. So we're just going to go for a big chamber, and we take it out, and then holding shift right and then you right click, you change it into schematic mode, and you walk up to either the any of the doors, even the primary door, doesn't matter, and then you can right click, and here we go, and it makes a nice big room. And yeah, so it just makes it, and you have a limited amount of rooms, but that can be increased over the time that you've used the TARDIS. So you get more XP depending on you get XP for every time that you fly the TARDIS or do something in the TARDIS, really. And once you've leveled up, you get experience points. So you come down here, and you pretty much spend them. And it'll tell you how many points that you've got unused, and you can spend them on energy level upgrades, regen, shields, and max rooms upgrades. To increase the amount of rooms that you can have, you just right click on this button and you can get more rooms. So it'll spend one of your level points on that. Pretty cool. Also, thank you, that was the TARDIS mod. So I'll leave some download links and stuff in the description. It's a very nice, cool mod, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and give me some construct, and I'll be sure to hopefully improve. And yeah, thanks for watching, and see you later.